But roughly speaking, women tend to do the nurturing thing more and men do the encouraging thing more. So now the question is, how do you mediate? How do you manage to fulfill both those roles in the absence of a heterosexual arrangement?
Right. So now naturally we understand that there are men who are more nurturing and women who aren't as nurturing and all of those things. He will have a huge percentage of the stuff that a mother would bring. But I also know it's not all of it.
Well,
and
also,
he knows it's
the
not
other
all
thing
of it.
too.
Aw, poor Dave Rubin can't talk to his friends about the family he's building without adding caveats. His friends and his audience believe children should have a mother and a father, and anything different than that is tantamount to child abuse. What children need are loving, supportive adults in their lives. The more the better. The gender of these adults is irrelevant. This is Rebel HQ. I'm Sandee Lovas. Dave Rubin, left the left because we're closed-minded and unaccepting of people's differences. The harm Dave has caused the LGBTQ+ community is unforgivable. His increasing groveling to the right is pathetic. The problem for Dave is the people he calls friends are fundamentally against who he is, but they play nice with him because he's still a useful tool. But as more right-wing personalities who are outside of his network confront him, it's going to get much harder for him to maintain his grip because they have no use for him and they aren't shy about expressing their bigotry.
On the ideal, you would prefer that your children will be heterosexual, and to live in the classic ideal family, men and women.
Well, I wouldn't prefer, well, that's not exactly what I'm saying.
Except that's exactly what he said earlier.
A family generally is a father and a mother and then children. Are there ways, that is the norm. That is the norm, and I would say in some ways this is going to sound a little bit weird for a certain amount of people, but that is sort of the ideal.
It's difficult for Dave to justify his position when the person interviewing him is trying to get him to admit he's choosing to make a family that isn't ideal. So he was squirming to give an answer that supports both sides.
I would prefer that I am able to raise two children who are functional adults who have an understanding of the way the world works and can find some meaning in their lives and live a life that's important to them. If ultimately they both turn out to be straight, that's fantastic. If one of them turns out to be gay, that's fine too.
But that's not what the interviewer was getting at.
Question is, what do you think the ideal that you would want your children to be?
Yeah. I guess we're getting hung up maybe a little bit on the word want.
What the interviewer wants is for Dave to say his kids should have a mother and father and that they should be raised to be heterosexual. And just like Dave's good friend Ben Shapiro said to his face, he wouldn't support any celebration of their marriage because Ben's faith dictates that homosexuality is a sin. It won't be long before his friends tell him to his face that he shouldn't have kids, that he's a groomer, and they completely turn their backs on him because Dave's utility won't be worth their pretending to tolerate him. Dave's kids are going to grow up and see that their dad told millions of people their family isn't ideal. They'll see clips of their dad questioning if gay marriage was a step too far, of him saying if they're heterosexual, fantastic, if they're gay, that's fine. They'll see him kiss up to the people who made the Don't Say Gay bill possible, and unless they're exceptionally sheltered, will be harassed for having two dads from the people in his audience. And they'll see that their dad said nothing when laws were passed harming LGBTQ+ folks, and when politicians and religious leaders were calling for the execution of people like their dads. Dave continues to support the side that wants to criminalize him while undermining the side that is fighting for his kids to be accepted, no matter their family structure or who they grew up to be. Dave really should have waited until he crossed the bridge and it was behind him before lighting it on fire. For more of my stuff, look for me on social medias left of the box. Don't forget to hit buttons and leave comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, get informed, get involved.